Welcome to Freelancer to CEO Virtual Summit. And I am so pleased that one of our first guests is Melissa McFarlane. Melissa is a business coach. She's the founder of Creative Successful Entrepreneurs. She's an internationally recognized coach with over 30 years of experience in entrepreneurship and business, personal and professional coaching. So at Creative Successful Entrepreneurs, Melissa helps creative visionaries and mavericks start and grow successful businesses they love. Melissa's model of business coaching has helped thousands and is proven to lift struggling business owners beyond survival to earn 6 to 7 figures while working fewer hours in radically more enjoyable ways. Who doesn't love that? Working in private and elite small group environments, Melissa helps her clients to create new personal and professional visions, define timelines and action plans, learn skills, assemble support, maintain accountability, and ultimately make good on the promise of their talent. Melissa sees what you can be, do, and has a clear model for achieving it. So hello, Melissa.
Hi there, Emma. It's so nice to see you today. Thank you for having me here.
It's so wonderful to have you. We've recently recorded a podcast episode together. So if you want to find out more about Melissa and her story, you can check that out at the Storytellers and Changemakers podcast. But today, Melissa is going to be talking to us about blueprints for breakthrough to six-figure business. And I think that would really set a good foundation for what we are here to achieve in the Freelancer to CEO Summit. Are you ready to go?
I am so ready to go. And I just want to call out to folks that are here today that we did go ahead and give you that extra resource through the Summit platform of the blueprint. So you may want to be following along with it as we talk today.
Great.
Or just know that it's there. We will review it kind of in brief today, just the images, but those images are going to be supportive to you all. And then we'll be leaning into that in further ways down the line for you. So I'm very excited to be here, Emma. And boy, did you get some really good background from me in that podcast. So folks, if you're curious about the secret story behind, you want to go listen to that.
The story behind the story. Yeah, definitely check that out. Yeah. Definitely check that out. Yeah.
So awesome. So yeah, you want to go ahead and dive right in? I think I have some slides I wanted to support your viewers and your attendees with. Would that is now a good time?
Yes, let me just give you permission. Yes, you can go ahead and share your screen.
Right on. All right. So just hang in here, folks, as we make sure to do that. And we'll have you on board here. Okay, let's see if we can get it going.
Okay, so what's going to happen is Melissa is going to run us through the whole of the blueprint, and I will just take some notes, and if there's any questions, I will ask at the end.
That sounds perfect. Yeah. And Emma, if you do have anything you want to interrupt with, don't worry. I've been around this block quite a bit, so I'm just happy as Larry to answer questions if you need it. So folks, today we're going to run through that blueprint. I'm going to, work you through the blueprint that we shared. And don't worry if you don't have it in front of you right now. That's all right. I'm going to make it pretty clear here. And we're going to get to what we can today. And then we're going to help you to figure out how you can lean in and use that blueprint as you leave the call so that you're not left high and dry. So today we are investigating the blueprint to break through to a six-figure business. This is a proven pathway to rapid success for any creative business, and it is the exact blueprint that we've used with our clients to create 6-7-figure businesses. And so you can do the same. So look, there are a lot of reasons that we start a business as a freelancer. And sometimes we even think of ourselves as freelancers as already having a business. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the distinction between freelancing and business. freelancing moving to actually having a business and CEO? And is that really a different thing than just having a freelance career? So some of the reasons people start businesses, small businesses, and most freelancers are really micro business oriented, are because we want flexibility. This is certainly why I started my own business as a freelancer. We want financial freedom. We have some sort of skill. We think I can make money from this. We just want to work for ourselves. We don't want to work for anybody else. Maybe even more, we really like control. I'll be honest. I like to have control over my life and not have to go the way that someone else says they want me to go. We want control over maybe how we spend our time or about what kind of work we do, which kinds of clients we work with. So those are all some reasons that we start business. But unfortunately, a lot of times when we start a business, and maybe you found this to be true in your freelance career or as a micro business owner, let's say, we get less freedom, right? We're ending up working all hours of the day and night. We have less predictable income, weirdly. Maybe we're working on a lot of unsatisfying projects because we just keep taking anything that we can get, right? We're working nights and weekends. There are zero boundaries on our time. We're taking every gig in order to pay the bills. So I want you to stop and ask yourself a question today. I'm inviting you to just consider, what if you could be paid more than you really right now think possible? So think about what the limit of what you think you honestly believe you could be paid. And what if you could be paid more than that, more, maybe even a lot more, doing what you actually really love and leveraging your unique and incredible talents in a really smart and reliable, repeatable income way. So today in this little training, I'm going to show you how to turn your ideas and your talent, that freelance capability that you have, into a six-figure income this year, or into the next six figures if you've already reached six figures. Even if you've never started a business, you've never earned a lot of money as a creative or as an artist, if you're an artist. So this formula, this little blueprint, it works. It's the same steps that I teach our clients. Our clients have collectively produced millions and millions in sales. They are routinely on track to 5 and 6 figures in the first year with us. And then they own these $1 million businesses thereafter. Their lives have really, really changed. And that might be more important than the money for many of them. And really also importantly for them, they're getting their gifts into the world in a way that is actually evolving the planet. And they really love that. So, you don't have to take my word for it. I thought it might be kind of fun to see the kinds of clients that we serve and that use this blueprint. And if you fall into that category, it might feel like home to you to listen to this blueprint today. So our creative, successful entrepreneurs clients, and by the way, that's the company I run, Creative Successful Entrepreneurs. I've been in business for about 30 years. They've done lots and lots with this little blueprint that we're going to walk through today. So Tish Hicks is a professional actress and a voiceover artist. She built the voiceover dojo to 6 figures in just a year. And then she now has a $500,000 business, and she employs a really big team and has a really good fun time. Hope Edelman is a New York Times bestselling author and speaker. She increased her income just from her followers, not even new folks that she was picking up, but the followers she already had, by 80% in the first year using the business blueprint that we use. That's Hope Edelman. I love Krista Walsh. Krista Walsh is a copywriter. She has a great business. She experienced a 500% growth in less than 6 months using the blueprint. So just think about that. What would that be to have 500% growth? How would that look, right? And she was already earning, right? Dylan is an award-winning storyteller and writer. He netted his first $50,000 month using our model. Valerie Hubbard, she's a professional actress and she is the CEO of Actors Fast Track. She built a 7-figure international business from $0 in record time. And we just love Valerie. We get her in our audience a lot. And then Marianne Udell, she owns a company called The Sheltering Tree. She experienced a $90,000 increase in her revenue over the course of 12 months. She's also on our team as one of our esteemed and trained coaches, and we just love her. So that 90K was outside of what she earns and takes in through our world. Andreas Kramer is the owner of Conscious Profit. He created a 75% income in the first 4 months and his first $20,000 day in the first 8 months using the blueprint. So they did it, all of them, using the blueprint. And they didn't need a couple of things that you might be worried or wondering if you need. They didn't need a lot of complicated technology. They didn't need startup capital, right? A lot of small businesses need that startup capital. They did not. They didn't even need one single client. Remember Valerie's 7-figure business from $0, right? They didn't need to stop doing what they love, and they didn't need any prior business experience to do it. So look, if you are a creative, maybe a freelancer, we call most of our freelancers creatives. Usually they are stuck in the trap of working too hard for too little, and you want to make a really secure living. We call that reliable, repeatable income that you can control. You're really in the right place today. And this is free thanks to Emma and her wonderful summit. Also stick around because we have another free gift at the end of our presentation today. And so you might wonder a little bit about who I am. Why should you listen to me, and can we really trust her? So, you know, I get that. I've been through a lot of coaching and training and teaching on business concepts, and some folks great, some folks not so great. Emma has been so great to honor me with the opportunity to speak to you, and I promise I will give you content today that you can leverage and use along with that blueprint right away. It's hard to say blueprint a lot. So I am an internationally recognized coach. I've been in business for about 30 years, work with Fortune 500 and now Fortune 50 clients. I've had a lot of TV time as a coach, and I have celebrity clients as well. I'm also a creative. I started out as an actress. And before I applied the blueprint that you're learning today, I lived in a referral racket. We call that a referral racket. Referrals are great, but if you don't, we don't want to only rely on referral, right? Because if we only have referrals, then we can't control when someone might open their mouth and send someone our way by, saying something nice about us, right? So we need to have a reliable, repeatable way to get income through the door on our own steam, right? And I did not know how to do that. I was living in that referral racket for 12 years, crossing fingers. I had no idea to talk about what I did. Convert a prospect, somebody that was interested into a high ticket sale. I had a pipeline of repeat business. I had a lot of clients, but I couldn't break a 4-figure a month income, meaning I could never get beyond mid like 5,000 a month or something like that, which is not enough to survive on with 2 children. When I broke through and I learned all of the techniques and the basically the information in the blueprint, I quadrupled my reach and my list in a year. I got to multiple 6 figures in under 2 years. And I now take a month off in summer and the holidays, and I returned to a 40-hour work week. I have an active creative life while I'm running my business. So you're in the right place if you're serious about making a lot more money with your creativity and your talent, and you are more practiced at like working on your talent than you are at building your business skills. So these are some of the types of people that we work with over here at CSE: coaches, trainers, designers, artists, performers, writers, directors, producers, healers, people like that. Okay, folks, so we managed to get back on. We had a little glitch there on tech, and we're back in the same spot here. So I'm just going to back up a little and say, again, there's a sandwich that has 6 things in your blueprint, right? Your blueprint has 6 items, but the middle of that sandwich, the meat of that sandwich or the veggie patty of that sandwich is 4 different arenas. And that's what we're going to focus on right now first. Then we'll go over the additional 2 that are on either end. So you need these, particularly, you need skill in these 4 arenas. So the first arena, 4 pillars, let's call them, of a successful business. And the first of them, well, let's actually think about a restaurant, okay? Because it's a easier way to think about your business and how you need to succeed in it. And even if you're a seasoned freelancer and you already kind of know about these arenas, it's helpful to stop and think, all right, what do I need to know? And your blueprint actually calls out each of these arenas and what you need to do or know in those arenas, so that you're like, oh, this is why I'm not succeeding in that area. Because, so we'll go through them and then we'll go through the actual blueprint. So let's keep moving here. The 4 pillars of a successful business, that meat of the sandwich, right, is first of all, we've got to imagine that restaurant. We've got to get people to stop on that busy New York street. Let's say your restaurant's on a busy New York street. We got to get them to stop and come inside, right? Just not walk by. And then we also need the right person to stop and come inside. We don't want everyone to come inside. We want the people who want our food the right, they really want to eat our kinds of food and pay our kinds of prices for the food, right? And that is called marketing. So you need that skill set, marketing. Then we need to actually capture the cash before they eat. And you laugh maybe, but freelancers have a tendency to deliver first and hope for the money. So we need to have that habit of getting a commitment and getting the right commitment for the food, not just a few pennies, but dollars and tens of dollars and thousands of dollars for what we do. So we need people to commit to the money. They walk through the line, they see what they've got, they're very excited, they pay at the end of the line, then they sit down, or they choose it off a menu, they see the prices, they are very committed to paying when they leave, right? That's called sales. So marketing, sales. Then we need to feed them really well so they're happy and they're loving it. But we need to not be starving in the process. So that skill set is called packaging and pricing. And that particular skill set that's where a huge piece of your growth potential lies. We're going to be talking about that a little bit more in our next training. And then you need to keep your kitchen clean. So while lots of people are coming into that restaurant, right, we need to actually make sure that people aren't slipping on banana peels in the back of the kitchen there, and that you can serve all the new people coming in, and that you can keep your current clients coming back for more on another day, right? So that is called business management. Those are the 4 pillars of success: marketing, sales, packaging and pricing, and business management. And if you look under the pillars here, you can see a sense of what kinds of activity are in those arenas. Online presence for marketing. Do you have one, right? Writing impactful copy, knowing your customer, who they are, attracting more and more of them, speaking louder through that bullhorn, right? That's a marketing arena set of skill sets. In the sales arena, we have a networking capability. We take a look at, can you make sales calls and convert clients from a sales call? Very important. We use a very specific script for our clients that really helps everyone calm down, including the prospect, really serves the prospect in the conversation. It's a dialogue that is really juicy, that allows our prospects to settle in and get clear about the decisions they need to make in their life, which are sometimes to work with us. So we give that sales script to our clients. Closing the sale, actually how to go from, yes, I'm interested, to I'm putting down the money, right? There's a skill set in that as well. And that's an important arena or capability that you need to have, specific skill set that you need to have as a business owner. Explaining your services confidently. Remember, I said I did not know how to do that. And it was really hard for me to even get people to understand what the potential of working with me was, because I didn't have a very short and simple way to articulate that. So that all lives in the land of sales. In the land of packaging and pricing, we want to design profit into your packages and your products and your programs, right? We have to actually learn how to build a profit in there and how much. There is a real science to doing that. We need to learn how to create high ticket items. You can't just be selling a lot of a low ticket thing and actually calm your business down. Now, there is a time when we can package and price small things and price them at a very small level or a small amount and sell it to a lot of people. But that's not something we want to be doing first. And that might go counterproductive. Like, I can sell something for $27 and then they'll be in my list and then they'll want to buy. But there is a reason why that is a really long road to success, and why you might hit what we call a quitting cliff if you try to build your business from big numbers and small sales, instead of flipping the formula and selling to a few people at a much higher number. So that's a little piece of wisdom there that is really important, and a big piece of packaging and pricing success.
Melissa, can I just ask you a question? You mentioned something, and I would like you to explain it a bit more. You said calm your business down. What were you talking about, or what did you mean by that?
So especially in the packaging and pricing arena, but in all of these arenas, if we are following the right order of business, and that business order is sort of built into that blueprint, by the way, we'll go over that in a minute. If we're doing the right things at the right time for the right reason and in the right order, then that calms our business down. And if we have the right sales script, that calms our business down. If we have the right understanding of how to package and price. So let me just say that's where that came up, Emma. When we build in a lot of flurry of activity early on, we're in summit right now, right? So let's imagine that we think, oh, I'll get a lot of people. Let's say people decide they want to be you and they want to host a really successful summit, right? And while a summit is a really great thing, we need to do that when we're a little bit established, because otherwise it's a lot of work and we still haven't made a whole lot of money usually from a summit. What we make is a lot of relationships and we make a lot of connections and we nurture our clients to understand who we are, which is all good. But what if you come into building your business kind of flat broke or really needing to get going, right? Well, in that case, we want to understand what the client that will live with you the longest needs and build a package that will allow you to settle in with 1, 2, 3, 10, only 10 people and relax over a period of time. So you're not enrolling all the time and trying to work just to make your monthly nut. So it takes some skills and some personal mindset and some capability to flip that order of business. For example, we need to be more brave. We also need to really understand what our value is and how to talk about it. We also need to have the right things built into a package. So somebody says, I really need all that support, right? And those things have to be things that are not taking all of our time. So there's a little bit of science around that. But if we can get that offer, and so just remember this, folks, the most comprehensive offer, right? The most, and for the longest period of time that makes sense for your client to sit with you, to be with you, right? So rather than just a moment for $29, what about $2,900? No? Okay, so we can do the math on that. We need, in order to make $29,000 and stabilize ourselves over 6 months, which is essentially $5,000 a month, to make $30,000, we need just 10 people paying us for a nice, juicy program at $3,000 a piece, as opposed to needing 100 people to pay us $30 or $300. So
it's actually 1,000 people.
Yeah, it's 1,000. I wasn't doing the math right. So yeah, can you think? Like, it's hard to get to those numbers. So we have to flip our skill set to do that. So that's that.
Okay.
And then, yeah. So the final skill and the final arena, which is one that no one ever really wants to talk about, is business management. We get it, but the business strategy is exciting in business management. And we just kind of talked about it there. Like, what am I going to build when and why? And how many people am I going to get, in this product or this program or this offer? And how does that all come together to be awesome for them and awesome for me, right? And what kind of team can I build in that profit margin so that I can pay for team? And those kinds of things really scared me when I was getting going, because I was a single coach. I wasn't, in a business. I didn't know what that meant. I was just delivering a service freelance, right? Same thing as an actress. I was an actress delivering. It felt beyond my capability, but I'm here to tell all of you listening that these things, while there is a little bit of a science, and we've tried to build that and lay it out in that blueprint. That science is totally learnable. And as you learn it, everything calms down and the money starts to flow in a really exciting way. So you get more time back, you're serving people better, and life is getting better. Your money, your profit is rising. So I mentioned that there are 6 arenas of the blueprint. And those 4 that we just talked about: marketing, sales, packaging and pricing, behind the scenes management, business management, right? They are wrapped in the sandwich bread of 2 additional skill sets or arenas that we need to be capable in. And the first arena at the front end is mindset. So you heard that a little, like, we need to have a little courage. We need to understand why we're not doing certain things and what's getting in the way of that. We also need to understand what business is that our freelance life isn't. Like, freelance rules are very different than business building rules. Who we have to be and how we have to be in a freelance world is super different than what we have to be in the business arena. So we have to understand what those things are. For example, we don't want to worry about being too super unique in the world. What we do want to worry about is being specific. But a creative or a freelancer, they usually are really worried about being the only person that does things this way, very unique, right? They get stuck in that uniqueness. That's just one example of mindset and foundations for success. So that's on the front end, understanding who you are and how you get in your way, understanding your understanding of business might be getting in the way. And then on the back end, the other side of the bun or the other bookend of that middle part of the sandwich is leadership. And that leadership, we call that character, values, leadership traits. Those are needed to succeed as well. How do we self-manage? What kinds of ability do we have in executive functioning? So when I'm training my higher level clients, we are looking at executive functioning a lot. What are all the skills we need to run a team, even just one person, which all businesses need in order to get beyond six figures. You can get to six figures on your own, but with, vendors and that kind of thing here and there. But you can't get beyond six figures without at least an admin supporting you, a VA or an admin, right? And so we really have to learn how to work with that person and how to work with ourselves. We need to learn how to self-manage when disappointment comes in. And that's not just mindset. There are actual skill sets built into that. We need to know how to prioritize work and how to manage time. We need to have structures and systems. And all of those things are kind of go beyond the business management arena and into that leadership, character, values, integrity, that kind of thing. So those are the 6 parts that you will see represented in this creative business blueprint that we've given you as a resource in the summit. And we're just going to walk through that for a little moment here. And I'm going to see if I can annotate it a little bit, just write on this for you all. So mindset, we're just going to break it down a tiny bit. We don't have a really long time today, but you can look at that blueprint. And I will give you a really great gift at the end of this training here that Emma and I have put together for you, where you can lean in and ask questions and really dissect this blueprint with us. So hang on for that. So there are 2 parts of mindset. I mentioned them. We need to understand what the foundations for success are. What are the pieces of success? And you'll see here things like the law of commerce versus the law of creativity, right? The crosshair of commerce, we need to understand what that is. What that crosshair of commerce is essentially the land between what our clients need and the solution that we provide. And when you have a really fat crosshair and trying to get, that's where money happens, is in the intersection between need and solution. We need to understand that a little bit more so we can intuitively get our products and services right in that crosshair. So that's something we need to understand mindset wise. And we also need and foundations for success, like really understanding what business is, right? And third, we need to understand, this is so critical, we need to understand the difference between dependence, codependence, independence, and interdependence. Basically, we need to become independent. And many, many, many creatives and freelancers are codependent or dependent by nature. Literally, we call it hat in hand. You are dependent on someone seeing you and choosing you in order for you to be, like, you're dependent on referrals. I mentioned I was totally dependent on referrals to grow my business until I learned those business skill sets, how to market, how to sell, how to package and price, right? So that independence, a lot of our freelancers are kind of internally built around being dependent and sometimes codependent in their businesses. So we do a lot of training around that. We need to clean that and clear it up. And then there's this arena of self-management or mindset, right? In that mindset arena. And that is, again, laws of commerce versus laws of creativity. It comes back there, and the crosshair of commerce there again. The next arena, get them to stop and come inside, right? That's marketing. And there are 3 parts of marketing that are really critical. And don't worry too much about the additional fingers that stretch out on the blueprint. We'll be diving into those in another training that we're going to tell you about here in a minute. But we need to understand who our target is. We need to develop the 4 pieces of the marketing clover. And I'll tell you what those are. You may want to write them down. The 4 pieces, well, they're actually here. So we need a business name, a business tagline, a business heighten the hunger talk. This is a little pitch, an elevator pitch. This is mine. Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa McFarlane, founder of Creative Successful Entrepreneurs. We help right brain thinkers make a left brain living and creative visionaries to get their big ideas and talent into the world where those things can make a difference. And when our clients work with us, we turn their cash poor, disorganized, uninspiring businesses into creative, energizing, profitable ones so they can stop having to choose between a freelance life and a life with profit and finally get on with the bigger business of evolving the planet with what they do. So that's an example of that heighten the hunger statement right there, right? And then finally, we need to build that out into a signature talk.
Are you saying, sorry again, are you saying that it's not just that initial phrase, but actually even the explanation as well? That's the heighten the hunger statement, all the way to.
We need all of it. And by the way, I built my 6-figure business off of getting that right. That's one of the key ways that I would go to a conference, I would be in a grocery line, and I knew what to say. And for most of us, what we do is somebody says, "What do you do?" And we get deer in the headlights and we really don't know. Or mindset, we're afraid to say it. We're afraid to come out and say what we might even have worked on a pitch, right? But we won't say it. So there's a practicing of that and getting comfortable. Look how comfortable I was doing that. And I can say a little piece of it, or I can say the whole thing. But every time I do, people stop who are my client and they go, I think I need to talk to you. Or they say, my son or my daughter needs to talk to you, or my friend or my sister, or every time. And if we have that, we say in our world that marketing, that's a piece of marketing, right? Marketing does the heavy lifting for you. It does all the work for you. So when you have when you have all these things in the marketing arena, things get easier to talk about calming down your business. So that's important. And then we just need to build that out into that signature talk. So a bigger explanation of what we do. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me not slow you down too much. So back to the analogy of the restaurant. So the marketing brings them to the door.
It gets them to come in. It actually gets them to come inside. They don't just walk the door, but they see. So when people hear that, here's how we know. Here's what coming inside looks like, folks. Coming inside looks like questions. Like, more about that. It looks like,
tell me more.
Yeah, it's a tell me more moment. I'm coming inside to say, hi, I smell something good. Can you talk to me about can I see a menu, please? Like, I would like to see a menu. Okay. They're not just looking outside and walking. They're stopping and they're coming inside. And that's the critical difference that we need to get to. So we've identified a target. We have gotten our 4 parts of our marketing clover done. So that's part of marketing success. And then we need to create our first funnel. And that funnel is, we need a freebie, we need a free talk, and then we need a offer at the back end. So we need a simple funnel. And that's one of the simple funnels that we often encourage our clients to have. And it's right here, folks. This is a $100,000 blueprint right here. And just this part, what is your funnel? What is it that you need? I wish somebody had done this for me when I was, this is all you need, is we need to build that right there, those 3 pieces. So that's a good example of marketing. That's your marketing page on your blueprint. I know we're short on time, and Emma, I know we're going to dive into this a little bit more into the little gift that we have, at the end. So I'll just say, why don't we move through the blueprint, and then we'll tell you all that we have a way for you to just calm down. This is a lot to tell you. So your job right now is just to look and see, where are you a little stuck in your business, and where on these pieces might not be complete yet. And that's a good way to get started. So your job today is about awareness. It's not about execution. Listen today for awareness, not for execution. So in that that second arena, we stop and get them to come inside. That's marketing. Second arena, capture the cash before they eat, right? So we need to have a focused conversation with someone. Then we need to present a solution. We need to have that offer ready. Then we need to respond to objections, and there will be objections. If you've priced your offer correctly, there will probably be objections. And if your client is trying to do something with you that is really complex or is scary to them, even if they haven't even heard a price tag yet, they may have objections. So it's critical to learn the skill set of objections and how to deal with them. So that is one area of sales success. And then finally, there is a very specific skill set for actually converting that interest into the cold hard cash that says to the prospect, I'm doing something, I'm changing. And that says to you, we've got a business going here. We made money. So there are lots of things to discuss about this. Take a look in the blueprint and you will see some of the items you need. A script. You will need to find the problem and investigate it as you move around the script. You will need to describe the offer's benefits. You will have to have your offer ready. We're about to talk about that. You'll have to have a way to engage them and get them talking back to you, right? So there's a lot in here. Right now, I would say just you can live with your blueprint after our talk, but just notice these 4 steps are all needed in sales. After we've gotten them to, we've captured that cash or that commitment of cash before they sit down to eat, we actually have to feed them something that helps them, right? And is really great, but we're not starving while we deliver it. So there are 5 different parts of packaging and pricing. And you see, this is a little complex. This could be an entire 2-week training, but we're going to just go over the basics. And again, your job right now is awareness. Just look and see, what did I, where am I stuck? Where might I have skipped a step? Where might I not really have thought through the package or the price tag, right? So first we want to identify what our target needs. Then we need to identify which business model or which offer model is best for them. And this is sort of interesting. What offer model is over here? So is it a service or a product that we're selling? Is it an active delivery, one-on-one time, live? Is it a leverage, like a little bit of one-to-many group? Is it done with them, not done for them? Is it passive? You're not even there. They can, thousands can absorb the thing at one time. So these are decisions that have to be made according to what your client needs, right? So what are their needs? What is the best framework for that offer? Then we need to identify all the little things that need to be included to add, and what else should we add as bonuses to help us sell the item. We usually should have some bonuses identified. And then we need to name and price it. That's a whole thing in and of itself. We've got to get the right name. And we actually have a very specific set of rules around how to name something and why. And I'll just give you a little hint. It needs to call out who the client is, right? It needs to call out the end benefit of the offer. Where do I get to? What is it? And where do I get to, right? And you see that in the title up here of our product. We have a title and a tagline. The Creative Business Blueprint. I get it's a blueprint. And where am I going to be? I'm going to learn how to start or grow my own successful creative business with this blueprint. So we need to think about those rules as we name our package and get ready to price. And then we need to make the price based on a couple of specific things. We need to price it based on what's going on for them, what's happening for them. And we've given you some price breaks here according to what the package or the product is solving. We also need to remember that the price has to keep in mind what we need in order to deliver it and what they need to pay in order to show up to it and use it. So those are 2 additional factors that we want to consider. So we've stopped them. They've come inside. That's marketing. We've captured the cash. That's sales. And we have fed them really well with a really good package. And we've priced it really well, so we aren't starving in the process. Now we're on step 4 of the meat of the sandwich in this blueprint, business management. And this, I'm just going to go through the middle. You can see here, these are these executive functioning skills that we need. Time management, we need tools, i.e. structures like systems, and those all need to support those different areas of our business. We need people management skills and tools to manage our people. We need agreements and policies, and we need automation. So those are the main areas of business management that a creative freelancer moving to CEO would need to get started and get up over 6 figures. And there's some clarity here on that page. So that's business management. Finally, the other end of the bun, right? The other book end. And this is really an area that we find our clients come alive in. Oftentimes it takes till year 2 before our clients are really leaning into this, but it's happening all along the way in the first year as well. There are 3 arenas of leadership. We need self-management tools. We need strong character, leadership, and capability. I mean, leadership capability, so character and leadership capability. And we need to understand our company's direction or our vision. And there are ways to get clear on all of those things. And those are very important in our business. So right now, I know we're just a little short on time. So just think for a minute, where do you think you might be most stuck? Mindset, do you have a lot of self-doubt? Do you have a lot of confusion about what you're doing, what you're selling? You don't even know why, maybe. Do you not really understand the difference between freelancing and business building? Like, are you just like I was coming into reality around, oh, there are different arenas and I need to understand a set of skills in each one of those arenas. Oh, marketing. How do I get people to, do I have my marketing clover together? So, do I understand business, or do I just not have all the marketing tools in place? Do I not actually know how to sell? So for those of you who get a lot of people that are interested coming inside and then they leave again, that's a sales problem. You don't know how to move them through the line and have them make a decision. That's that sales conversation. And maybe it's like, actually I have a lot of people buying, but they're buying at a really low level and I'm starving. Well, that's a packaging and pricing problem. I had that problem. That's how I quadrupled my income in a year. I ended up actually charging the same people I was working with, get this, 10 times more for a different package. It had different kinds of work. But here's the amazing news. I worked a lot less. They got a lot better outcome from it because we changed how we were doing things. So that packaging and pricing was amazing. So there's so much we can do in that packaging and pricing arena, and it's really important to pay attention to. Then business management. Maybe you just really disorganized on the back end. You have no way to automate emails, automate posting. So you're just doing that all day long. Build a landing page and you have to build another one. And you have to build another one. Like maybe that's the problem, that you're not automated. You don't have any systems. Maybe you have a VA, but you don't know how to manage them. And then leadership skills. Maybe you get in your own way. Maybe your character needs a little strengthening. Maybe you need some practices that will drive some discipline into the way you show up to your business. You just aren't showing up enough to your business. So take a moment to look and identify, where are you stuck today? So we have a little gift for you. My goal was to help you all understand the entire overview of what we need to know, and for you all to identify, okay, where do I think I could use some help? Now, of course, or some attention for myself. And of course, we can always, all the time, improve in all 6 of those arenas on that blueprint. But you each will know which area is your Achilles heel. Stopping people and getting them to come inside really ready to buy, closing the deal, packaging and pricing so you're not losing money, organizing yourself, right? And we know you might need a little time and need a little bit of time to ask questions back and forth to figure out what that is, and to actually understand a little better what each of those arenas are. And Emma and I knew that you wouldn't have enough time to do that here. So we drove awareness of the overall thing, and we thought we'd give you a gift, and here it is. So we've given you this little blueprint, and we know that you might still have those questions. And here are some questions that are kind of normal that people ask us. How do I, make a profit with this blueprint? Great question. We need a chance to kind of dissect it a little further, but we can't dissect if we don't understand what it is, right? Or I've got my first offer, but it's not going to get me all the way. Remember, I said a $29 is not going to get you to $100,000, right? Not very easily. And lots of other questions. When should I work on my website, for example? How can I have a creative life and still, get to my business? Those are all really good questions. So you have 2 options right now as we draw kind of near our time. First, you can go ahead and take that blueprint, and I hope you will, and really try to implement and look at it and investigate it and see where you are in it. Or you can take that blueprint and you can let us help you. So we can coach you to follow that blueprint successfully and begin to build that 6-figure or 7-figure business yourself. And we've decided to put that together, begin to do that in this little masterclass that we're running. Coming up right around the corner, 11 a.m. to 12:30, June 9th. There is information on your summit page here where this talk is hosted. So go ahead. This is we usually value this training at $497 because there's a lot of juicy stuff going on in that training. When you register today for free, you can come for free. So we want you to go ahead and click that registration button so we get you in through the process and you can know that you've committed yourself to breathe and get some time with us. So there's a structure. We're going to do a little bit of networking. We're going to do some targeted training that deepens your learning and your understanding. And I'm only going to dive into the middle section, right? A little bit more deeply on mindset, that marketing clover, and to talk to you about that and help you make some decisions. I'm going to give you some tools to do that and rules for each of the pieces along the way. So I'm going to give you my sales script. I'm actually going to give you that. That is a $200,000 sales script. Trust me. We have our clients converting 10,000 off of that sales script in one call all the time. So that is worth showing up alone, is that tool that we're going to give you. We will be doing a spotlight session. So it might be you come ready to ask a question, and we'll do a little Q&A and we'll close. So network. Yeah, awesome, right? A little bit of spotlight coaching, all of these things. So we want you to attend that masterclass, start building your next 6 figures. Those are the dates. The information is on the page right here. We do want to call out, you need to do that soon because the link will only be live for the next 7 days. So do go ahead and click that, register for it. There will not be recording. I bet you're going to ask me that, Emma, and I just want to make sure we need you there so we can work with you. And it's going to be really juicy. We don't want that content floating around without people having gone through this content first. So you've spent the time to watch this training. It's for you. So we hope you will show up for that. And Emma, I just want to thank you for hosting me here today. It's been fun. I hope that was helpful.
You are most welcome. I mean, that was awesome. That was awesome. So I just have a question. Who do you think would really, really benefit from this? What stage of business,
Yeah. So I'll tell you two types of folks. So anyone that is, well, a couple things. If you're clear that you are building a business, you don't have a question like, I'm not even sure if I want to, and you have a pretty good idea of which business you want to build. So that's number one. Number two, if you are either building your next 6 figures, you've gotten to 6 figures and you've done that randomly, you don't really know how you got there, but you got there. Yeah. And your things are chaotic and you're exhausted and you want a better way. This is going to be a useful training for you. If you if you haven't gotten up over 6 figures yet, or if you've done it in a way that's exhausting, you want to show up for that. And if you just think you could use a brush up on, like I built that, my own coaching business and did well and got, on TV and all of that. But I really didn't know what the heck I was doing. So that's a really good sort of person to come to. That would be, if you're that person and there's no shame in that, you might want to go and attend. So those are some, and then definitely those of you who consider yourself freelancers and are exhausted and tired of having that hat in hand, you want to put that hat on your head and own your world and create reliable, repeatable income. We need this model. So we want to encourage you to show if you're in that category.
Would you be so kind as to take us back to the other slide, the slide 2 before, so that people can see the details of what is. So we will be running it together, which really means that I will also be in the room learning alongside you. I love the structure. I love the structure. It's very different from the usual masterclass that somebody just comes and talks at you, but it's very interactive, and I think there's also a bit of intuition in there, if I'm not mistaken, as well, so that it's almost tailored to whoever shows up and what their needs are.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Emmy. And we are really excited about the chance to just breathe and lean into this blueprint a little further. And I do promise you, I will give you some tools in that masterclass. We will do a little spotlight coaching, and you will actually learn some rules as well. we'll be able to slow down a little bit and dive into the most important things in that major part of the blueprint, those 4 marketing, sales, packaging.
I mean, one of the things that I hear so often from fellow friends that are also freelancers, sometimes you get so overwhelmed, you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing. What am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. It's such a common phrase, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing,
That's
and
true.
I think this kind of this blueprint and this masterclass will really help you to see exactly what you're doing, what you should be doing, what you've been doing right as well, and then just put yourself in the picture, fill in the gaps, and then know what to do next. So what's the next step to
That's
take?
exactly right. It
Yes.
won't disappoint. Wherever
Thank
you
you
are,
so
you'll get
much.
value. You're
Thank
welcome,
you
Emily.
so
Thank
much.
you so
Thank
much.
you
And
so,
thank
so
you
much.
to the rest of you all for showing up and sticking and staying and playing till the end. Uh, thank you so much, Emmy.
All right, then. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.